Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Our world has become so politically correct. Everybody is so afraid to offend everybody. Don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Don't want the kids to feel hurt, so everybody's going to get a fucking ribbon. Got to be fair. Everybody has to be given the right to their opinion and to voice it. And to that, I say, fuck
people
off.
Upload their selfies is that
As my radio turns on, some of the universe speaking to me. Yeah, like seriously, fuck off with that. Fuck off with that. This whole notion and feeling of like, well, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to piss anything else. Nothing fucking good happens in that place of being, you know, the being safe, being in the middle. I did a podcast a while back, which is called Get Off the Motherfucking Fence, right? Like, decide, make a decision, be bold. And it's the thing that most people are the most afraid of. And my experience of working with women over the last 2.5 years, as a chiropractor for 14 years prior to that, there was such a thing in my profession at the time of like, don't piss anyone off. There's certain rules of things we can say and we can't say and do and can't do. And, oh, you couldn't possibly swear in front of a patient. You couldn't possibly show up in jeans, and you couldn't possibly, you know, say something that's different or confront someone about something that's happening with their health and tell them the truth, because you don't want to upset them, because they could complain to the board, which, by the way, that should happen when I was in practice. They could get upset. They could write a bad review online. They could. And it all came down to this whole thing. It's fear. Fear. All based on a notion of things that we think that could be true that are essentially just fucking thoughts. Thoughts. So this morning I had an experience that reminded me of that again. And, you know, I tend to, like a pendulum at times, will swing to one side to the other. I had a beautiful experience with my children yesterday. And for me at times that can be absolutely reactive. I'll be honest, but I can be reactive with my kids. I can yell. I can get upset. I can throw out consequences which are a little bit over the top to certain choices and actions that my boys make. They're 4 and 7. They speak their own mind. They stand up for themselves. Like, guess where they got this shit from, right? Me and their daddy. And that's a good thing. It also makes parenting really, really tricky, especially when they're this young, right? Especially when some of the conversations I want to have with them, you just can't have them yet, because physiologically, they don't have some of those concepts in their brain to help them understand things yet. That would make it easier, right? And I had this experience yesterday of just being a place of absolute kids flipping out at the pool in their lessons, absolute, like, just calm, certainty. Did not budge, did not raise my voice. And out of that, even though there was still, you know, literally and figuratively kicking and screaming about shit and name calling to mommy and all this stuff, I kept my cool. What was tolerated, what's not okay. And my boys and I had a great experience afterwards from that. Like, they got it, right? So I can swing from that pendulum of just like, man, like patience, like especially, oh my God, as a parent, patience, right? Certainty. Don't take shit personally. So I can wake up this morning and get a message from someone that's asked me to do something, and it can swing the other way. And like, that's okay. That's okay. Because I also too, sister, I follow the voice, and there are times when you're going to see a Facebook post, a podcast like what I'm doing right now, that I know will offend people. And it is not done for the purpose of that. But I also truly understand and respect that I'm okay with taking the fall. I've done that most of my adult life. If I have to be the one that stands up to make a statement about something, if it's up to me to fucking be the lead and to show others, if it's up to me to speak my fucking truth, to show others how to do it, then I will do that. And I'm not afraid to offend. And I have so many women that just will say to me, like, how do you do that? It's a decision. It's a choice. It's a choice. So I know when I wrote this Facebook post this morning, which was something about why you need to cut those motherfuckers off or something like that. Like, yeah, it was heated. Yeah, it was full of curse words. Yep. It had some fire in it. Piss and vinegar, man, all over that post. That was my truth in that moment. Which is to not let people fucking, not even just to walk on you, but just to have some clarity, right? For me, I'm really clear that the women that choose to work with me, that apply to coach with me, whether it's a level of the sisterhood, which is a monthly program, a large group coaching program, if you will, whether it's application to coach one-on-one or for one of my live events, I am fucking clear that I do not work with women anymore that are liars, that say they want one thing but are unwilling to do the work, that don't understand and are unwilling. They don't want to see the work in front of them. They want to stay in their story and struggle, and will say things like, I don't have the money, or I need to stop because of this, or I'm not ready yet because of this. And really, they're just fucking liars. They're fucking liars. And 95% of the time, I don't care. I'm like, okay, great, thanks. Actually, not even a thanks. It's just like, got your message, it's done. That's it. Psh, cut them out, done. Done. And then there's times where I feel like there's something else that needs to be said, and this was the conversation with this person. And it made me realize that I'm like, you know what? I need to write about this shit. Because there's a lot of people that allow others to be a part of their life that should not be. It is a privilege for people to be in your life. It's not a fucking right. Now, I know you might be saying, Karen, well, what about my parents? What about my brothers and sisters? What about, other kind of family, my children? I'm like, of course there's some of these things, and you need to create the boundaries that you need to for that. There might be for some of you that shit is so toxic, you're like, no, actually they don't get a chance to be in my life. I had a period in my 20s that I didn't talk to my parents for about 2 or 3 years. Now, for some people that might be harsh. You don't understand, right? It's out of context. You're just seeing an action and automatically making a judgment about something. But what you don't understand is to see the years of pain between my mother and I, and to realize at that point in my life, the healthiest thing that I could do is to actually cut her out for a period of time. And that was a good thing to do. Not an easy one. But for most of you, it won't be to that extreme, if you will. You have to create some boundaries around the family stuff. But for the rest of the fucking people in your life, it is a privilege for them to be in your life. You need to understand that who is in your life, your energy, the people that you associate with, is fucking everything. And you cannot give it to everybody. It's sacred. You are sacred, sister. Your time matters. Your energy matters. You cannot give it away to everybody. And so the reason that I wrote this morning, the reason I'm podcasting this morning, is because I know this is an issue that's rampant for so many of you. And that could also be you too, sister, of I don't want to upset anybody. I want to please everybody. Impossible. And quite honestly, let's just cut to the chase about this. There's something you get from that. There's something you get from being the martyr. There's something you get. There's some kind of a rush you get. There's something you get that feeds your ego about pleasing everybody and being the nice one. Now, I don't mean you have to be a raving bitch and lunatic. There are times that might be called for, but that's not what I'm saying in this. What I'm saying is there's something that you get from the people pleasing and the wanting everyone to be happy and don't want to offend anybody. But let me tell you something straight up now, sister. If you want to create a life of more, those of you that reach out to me and say, you know what, I want a marriage that's full of passion and connection and life. I want to be connected with my children in ways that I don't have right now. I want to have a strong, lean, powerful body. I want to fucking crush and be wealthy with what I do for work and business. I want these things. Yet, you're unwilling to be fucking bold. You're unwilling to realize that you're going to probably offend some people with the way that you show up in life. If you choose this. Now, if you want to stay in the middle, you want to stay in the middle. But if you're listening to this podcast, Women Wanting More, it's probably because you want something more than what you have in your life right now. And you need to understand that you will offend some people. Some people will just not like you because of the color of your hair. You remind them of somebody. Believe me, there will always be haters in this fucking world for whatever reasons. And some of it's just like insanity. It's like you didn't even trigger them. They're not like a Bible thumper and like some of those that have followed me and, oh, you cuss too much and that's not professional. It's not even that. Like, it'll just be something insane. Like, you wore a shirt that somebody wore who they know that slept with their husband, that was a cousin, and it's like now you've triggered something in them. They just hate your face. They don't like your name. I don't know. Your dog. They're envious of you. They're jealous. They're mad that you have, or they think that you have something that they don't. Because they live in scarcity. There's all sorts of fucking reasons as to why you're going to offend people in life. But for you to not fully rise into the woman that you are and that you want to become, for you to fucking play it small because you don't want to offend anybody, for you to hold back the gifts and the talents that are you is fucking bullshit, sister. Do not hold back who you are for the sake of pleasing other people. Guys, I'll tell you something right now. You'll do that and you will still piss people off. And you know what that becomes? Resentment, anger, frustration. You know who gets that? Your husband and your kids. Yep, they're the ones who are in your line of fire the most, so they're the ones that get it. All because you were afraid of not offending someone who doesn't even fucking matter. Someone that is not important to you in your life, like the ones that truly are. But yet they're going to get the consequences of you fucking numbing and suppressing who you are. Do not be afraid of offending people. Listen, I know for some as well, too, that I trigger, there's a fucking gift in there. Just like this person that triggered me today. There's a gift in this for me to see, which was like, yeah, I'm not playing with anybody who's not willing to play full out, period. If there's any fucking sense that I smell that they're not, or that they show me that they're not, bye-bye, Felicia. No. So I thank this person today for this experience. Because I got something from it. There's something that this person could see in the experience too. Now, they might choose to say it, to see it and to look for it. They might not. They might spin a story about how I'm such an evil, awful person. I'm such a bitch. I'm cold. I'm this. I'm that. It's fine. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't have any relevance in my life, particularly long term. And that's how I really want you to see this. So many of you just living day to day, hour to hour, moment to moment, week to week, same old, day in, day out, just getting through the day. And I understand that there are times in your life that will be a strategy that is necessary. I get it. This is not me judging you if you're in that place, sister. But in the grand scheme of life, your life has a lot of years left in it. And does this thing that you're worrying about, stressing about offending somebody, does it matter that fucking much? Will you literally wake up and go, oh my God, remember when I did that thing? I can't believe I did that thing. I said those words. You'll probably be like, oh yeah, that shit happened. Right, I made a big deal of it. Oh yeah, it didn't actually even fucking matter. So here's your more tip for today's sister. Where are you holding back in your life because you're so afraid of offending somebody or a group of people? What area of your life is that in? And here's the second piece I want you to really understand. What is it costing you by holding back who you are? What is the cost to you, and what is the cost to others in your life? And I want you to journal all of this for insights, because you need to write shit down. You can't spin it in your head. You got to see it. You organically pen to paper. There's an experience that happens with that. A kinesthetic fucking experience. For you then to see those words and to create the action of you, finger on a pen, writing onto paper, to actually see that and to reflect and to get some insights and revelations from that process. And guess what? I'm going to fucking give you a journal for free. You have to take care of the shipping. Small amount, and that is it. And I'm going to send you all sorts of other cool women wanting more swag. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, and I've sent almost 300, I'm sending out the next group over the next couple of days. There's like about 25 or 30 of them, going out to countries like UK, Australia, Germany, Ireland, Canada, US, Thailand, Korea, Singapore. Who am I missing? Scotland, Spain, Mexico, on and on. There's a cajillion countries that I've sent them out to. And I would love to send one to you, sisters, so you can actually start to do this work that you hear me speak if you're in the podcast. So I want you to right now head over to drkarenosburn.com/free journal. And I will send that to you within the next couple of weeks. In addition, make sure you watch the new Women Wanting More live event movie. Experience of 5 amazing women that were here 4 weeks ago in Victoria, BC. And what is really possible when you get clarity on the things you want and why and the tools to make it happen in 2.5 days. So go ahead and watch the movie, 5-minute movie, over at drkarenosburn.com/the evolution. And both of these will be linked in your show notes for you. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from me doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.